again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Garry Glenn. Spring break is over. The schools are back in session. Athletic teams are back competing. Most of them took the week off last week, but this week, they're kind of heading down the stretch. And a couple of the teams that are having great springs right now, the Gainesville soccer teams, both undefeated in the region, but they've got some important games coming up. And we welcome to the show Coach Mark Wade, the head coach of the Gainesville girls soccer program. He's been with us before, and because they've had great years before, and we welcome him back. Mark, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
11-2 overall, 9-0 as we start the week this week. So thinking back on as you got ready to start the season, did you have a clue you're going to be this good?
No, not really. We returned a number of players from last year. We lost a couple of key. We lost our goalkeeper who went to Valdosta State, and so we had some question marks at areas, but honestly, just hoping to get into the playoffs this year. That was our goal. Mm-hmm.
But you had some people to step up.
Yeah, we've had some girls really start off well for us. We have a big group of juniors on the team, and Hartley Carter was our forward from last year, and she came back this year and just caught fire early, and is up to I think she has 22 goals now.
Well, and Liza Carpenter, I keep reading her name in the paper a lot. Good genes there, Chris Carpenter's daughter.
Right, yeah, she's been great for us. She's always been a back for us, a sweeper, plays in the back for us. And this year, bit the bullet and decided to move her up in the midfield, and that's really paid off for us. She leads the team in assist, and she's a captain and has done some great things for us this year.
And she's going on to the next level, isn't she?
Yeah, she signed with Young Harris to a soccer scholarship, so she'll be with them in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Your goalkeeper is a senior as well, and I think maybe you and Liza had to do a little lobbying to get Rebecca Webster to come out for the team.
Yeah, she played for me as a freshman, and at that time our goalkeeper was a sophomore, Hong Tran, who's at Valdosta State now, and so she played the field and then decided to focus on basketball. But end of her senior year, signed her basketball scholarship. I think she just got the itch to come out and do it again, and we sure have been great. It's been great having her out there.
Well, Liza, you said, is her next door neighbor before we turned on the camera, so she probably had a lot. In fact, I remember at the signing ceremony we did at Longstreet, she said, we got to work on getting Rebecca out for soccer this year.
I'm sure that being next door neighbors helps. Apparently, they have a basketball goal over there, and they play a lot of basketball. Liza was quite a basketball player before she decided to focus on soccer. Mm-hmm.
Well, and Rebecca's a big girl, 6 feet tall, so that's got to help you in goal.
Yeah, it's given the girls a lot of confidence as far as defending. There's some things you can you can focus on certain types of defense when you have a keeper that's tall that can handle the balls in the air. You can, giving up a shot outside the 18-yard box is not as big a deal when you have a tall goalkeeper, and so it allows us to work on our defense to handle things a little differently.
Where have you been really good this year? Has it been the offense, has it been the defense, or has it just been kind of a combination of things, or situational, depending on your opponent?
Well, I think the biggest thing we've done this year is we've just found a way to win. We've worked really hard on a lot of different areas in the off season. We missed the playoffs last year. We lost our last game of the season, 1-0. We lost several close games last year, 1-0. And so we really focused on doing the little things right, and that's really paid off for us.
You've got some big games that are coming up, right?
Yes, sure do.
Tell me about some of those.
We've got 3 region games left, and if we start Friday night, we're home against White County at senior night. We desperately need to win that one, and then the next Tuesday, we've got Johnson, and we've really battled them over the last 4 years. It's been really, really highly competitive. In fact, last year, they would have won the region championship last year if we hadn't beat them at City Park. So they'll be looking for a little bit of payback.
Well, you've been focused, and you've been the type of things that you said you've won when you had to. A couple of games, either one or two, have gone to penalty kicks, haven't they?
Well, yeah, we've had one go to penalty kicks against Oconee. We were over at Oconee, and obviously they're really, really good. They won the region last year, and so that was a very tight contest. Just before spring break, I told the girls we escaped against North Hall, played them the Thursday before spring break, and won 1-0 against them. And I think we scored with, I'm going to say, 15 minutes left in the game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, Mark, is there anything you're going to have to do to make the playoffs this year? You said it left a bad taste in your mouth not making the playoffs last year.
Pretty much, if we win one more region game, we'll make the playoffs. We'll need to win either 2 or all 3 of the remaining to win the region, which would be a great accomplishment for these girls.
All right. Mark Wade, head coach of Gainesville Girls Soccer. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to the Lady Elephants the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Now, some of the teams that did play last week during spring break were our local baseball teams. We're back with that story in just a moment.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
You know, one of the sponsors that we've had on the show here for a long time, McKelvey Road United Methodist Church, and the pastor of McKelvey Road UMC is Rob Bruce. And Rob, first of all, thanks to the church for helping publicize in a positive light our local athletes here.
Gary, you're more than welcome. We enjoy supporting our local community, and this is one way of being able to do that, is to support our kids in their athletics and those in the county.
Now, one of the things we want to talk about here with you today, though, is the sermon series that you started on Easter Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's right. We started a sermon series on Easter morning about the resurrection because most people have a unrealistic idea of what resurrection is. Most people think it's resuscitation, but it's something entirely different than resuscitation, Gary.
And where are you going to take us with this?
Well, we'll be learning what resurrection means for our everyday lives, and I don't want to give too much of it away. I want to make this a bit of a tease so some folks will come and hear it.
All right. Thank you very much. Rob Bruce, McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Rob, we'll see you in church on Sunday.
Thank you, Gary.
We're back. I'm Garry Glenn. The show is Hall County Sports Television. Our team of the week as we do our baseball segment. Our team of the week last week, Riverside, had to come back to beat Athens Academy 5-4 last week. Jacob Harrison went 2 for 3 while picking up the win for the Eagles on the mound. After trailing 4-1, Riverside came back in the bottom of the last inning, the 7th inning, scoring 4 runs to take the win. Also, another baseball, Johnson beat West Hall in the Battle of Oakwood Part 2. Final was 9-2 for the Knights. Chris White leading them, going 3 for 4 with a home run and a double and 2 RBI. Trey Wilson 3 for 5 with a homer and 3 RBI for Johnson. Wynn Griffith went 2 for 3 with 1 run driven in while also getting the win. The Knights then fell to Lanier in an 18-10 slugfest despite Wilson's 3 for 4 performance with a homer and 2 RBI and a home run and 2 for 5 outing from A.J. Benefield. Noel Hall jumped all over Chesterty 10-zip last week. Jesse Strickland 2 for 2 with an RBI and 4 stolen bases. Also in the hitting parade, Griffin Olsen went 2 for 4 with 2 RBI, while Wade Phillips was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Colton Duttweiler was 2 for 3 with an RBI, and Avery Smith scattered 4 hits and struck out 3 while pitching 4 shutout innings for the Trojans. Congrats to North Hall senior John Volpone, by the way, who picked up his first varsity hit as a pinch hitter in the 5th in that game. The Trojans ended the week pounding Johnson 12-2 on 16 hits in 5 innings. Preston Graham looked sharp in picking up the win. He scattered 4 hits and struck out 4. Andrew Smith was 3 for 4 with a triple, double, and single, and he knocked in 3. Wade Phillips and Duttweiler went 3 for 3. Zach Mize 2 for 3 with 2 RBI. Now, Johnson had held an early lead on a towering home run by Wilson, who was also sharp in the field at third base. The Trojans came back in the bottom of the 1st, though, as Graham regrouped on the mound, and they were never headed again. Volpone, by the way, was at the plate and drew a bases-loaded walk to end the game by the mercy rule. And the Trojans will have a big game this Friday with South leader Gainesville. Speaking of the Red Elephants, they rolled on unbeaten last week with a 3-1 win over Lanier. Hunter Anglin got the win for the Crimson Pachyderms, pitching all 7 innings with 7 strikeouts and retiring 7 of the last 8 batters he faced. Michael Geddes and David Gonzalez scored what proved to be the game winners on a couple of bad throws on a double steal attempt. The Red Elephants then beat Walnut Grove 7-1 at Ivy Watson last week. Gonzalez, who has signed with the University of Georgia, went 6 innings to pick up the win, striking out 11 along the way. Ryan Griffith came in to get the save. Gonzalez actually helped himself out with 2 RBI and a run scored while going 2 for 3 to help the Elephants go to 17-0, 12-0 in Region 8 AAA at that point. For David, his 5th win of the year and the 20th of his career at Gainesville.
First of all, congratulations on the win. Perfect year continues here. Did you guys starting out, did you think you had the potential of being 17-0?
Definitely. I mean, that's what I told the people before is we when we break it down, we take state. Like that's really our goal, and we think that we can achieve that if we keep on rolling how we have been. So I mean, being 17-0 feels really good, but I mean it's something that we kind of wanted to do ourselves.
Now, does it put extra pressure on you though to be undefeated?
Oh, definitely. Because I mean everybody has a bullseye out on our back for us. I mean, some teams might not even make the playoffs, but if they beat Gainesville, it's a successful season for them. So.
Personally, 5th win of the year, you got a minuscule ERA. We had you striking out 10. Plus, you had a couple of RBI and scored a run, so a pretty good all-around game for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good game. My teammates supported the runs for me, and I just went out there and just tried to do what I do best and just throw strikes. And I mean, we won, so I mean, it feels pretty good.
Now, as I said, he actually had 11 strikeouts in that game, and when you have a pitcher who can do that and also hit, you really got something. DH Caleb Whittington, by the way, also had a solo homer for the Red Elephants on that night. Other baseball, Flowery Branch Mercy ruled Appalachia 12-2. Falcons batted around in the 2nd and 3rd innings, pounding out 16 hits. Chase Hulsey led the Falcons, going 2 for 3 with a double and a triple and 3 runs scored. Logan Conley 2 for 4 with 2 RBI for the Falcons, and Breck Davidson 3 for 4 with 3 RBI. Brad Keller earned the win, and Chandler Newton got the save. Justin Seabolt ended it when he drove in Chandler Malecki in the bottom of the 6th. And then the Falcons turned around and beat the Wildcats again, this time 4-1. Logan Conley 1 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBI in Winder. Breck Davidson 1 for 3 with a double for Flowery Branch, and Hulsey picked up the win. Flowery Branch's fine season continued with a 13-3 5-inning win over Rockdale County. Kelton DeVoe smacked a couple of bases-loaded doubles and finished with 5 RBI, as the Branch was 4 for 4 with the bases loaded over the first 2 innings. 5 Falcons had at least 1 RBI that game. C.J. Nabin and Justin Seabolt each had 2 hits. And East Hall shut out Dawson County 10-0. Jonathan Woodring led the Vikes, not only getting the win, but smacking a homer in Dawsonville. Well, the local Brothers of the Iron had a great state meet over in Athens this past Saturday. We're back with that story when Hall County Sports returns.
There are hundreds of options when choosing apparel or promotional items at J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case. We're all about quality and competitive pricing. Sports items are in stock. Look for special pricing on Letterman jackets, corporate apparel, corporate gifts, and custom embroidery. All local high schools should check out the line of spirit wear and trophies. We're also offering custom screen printing available for any team sport. Be on the winning side when you choose J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case, locally owned and operated at 250 Dawsonville Highway, Gainesville. Call 770-718-0062 or on the web at jgeyer.com and trophycaseltd.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Garry Glenn, and this is Hall County Sports. The American Powerlifting Committee State Championships this past Saturday in Athens started the local weightlifting season for bench pressers and full power people. And the local Georgia IronDawgs are defending state and national champs in both those categories. Late last week, the IronDawgs teams were presented with a framed resolution from the Georgia State Senate. Sponsored by our Senator Butch Miller of Gainesville, the award honored their achievements from 2011 when they won state and national titles in bench and full power and helped Team USA win 4 different world championships. Well, at the 11th Annual American Powerlifting Committee Georgia Open Powerlifting and Bench Press Championships in Athens, the IronDawgs got off to another great start as they successfully defended their APC Georgia State Championships they won last year. The Dogs, in fact, racked up 5 Best Lifter awards on their way to again winning team trophies in the full power and bench-only categories. Now, in that bench-only division, Dahlonegah's Eric Head won the Open Best Lifter Award with his bench of 413.36 pounds and winning the first-place medal in the 165.35-pound weight class, the unequipped classification. By the way, I'm rounding off these kilograms now pretty much to the closest poundage. Grayson's Dana Tripp won the women's bench best lifter with her press of 89.29 pounds and taking first in the 114.64-pound women's submaster weight class. That's the 35 to 40-year-old division. She's a raw lifter as well. Both Eric and Dana set American records in their wins, and since this was just a state meet, only state and national and not world records could be set. In full power, Gainesville's Gary Hatfield, the strength coach at Brenau University, took the Masters Best Lifter Award in winning the Masters Men's Equipped 50 to 54-year-old 220.05-pound weight class with his total of 775 kilograms. That's 1,708.57 pounds. Gary had a squat of 661.38, a bench of 507.06, and a deadlift of 540.13 pounds. North Hall athlete, 14-year-old Lincoln Hewitt, took the teen male best lifter with a squat of 347.22, a bench of 275.58, and a deadlift of 363.76. All of his lifts and his total of 986.56 pounds, all American records in the raw male 13 to 15-year-old 198.41 pound category. IronDawgs, in fact, swept the teen awards when Alpharetta's Ariel Bullmesh won the ladies' best lifter award with a win in the raw 16-17-year-old 132.28 pound weight class with a squat of 248.02, a bench of 170.86, and a deadlift of 325.18. Her bench, deadlift, and total of 744.05 pounds were all national records. Other IronDawgs who won in the full power categories were Winterville's Andy Williamson with American records across the board in the Masters male raw 45 to 49-year-old 242.51 pound weight class. He squatted 429.9, benched 319.67, and deadlifted 473.99 pounds. His total was 1,223.55 pounds. Sewanee's Landon Jameson won the Open men's 308.64 pound weight class with a squat of 622.8, a bench of 440.92, and a deadlift of 551.15, and his total 1,614.87 pounds. Landon, who trains at the Iron Beast Barbell in Gainesville, just competed a couple of weeks ago in the Central Georgia Strongest Man Strongman competition in Macon. He won the tire flip event and finished 5th overall in his class. East Hall alumnus Gainesville's Dwan Johnson won the Submaster 140 kilo plus class with 4 records, a squat of 804.68, a bench of 440.92, and a deadlift of 705.47, and his total of 1,912.49 pounds. Team Full Power Captain C.J. Allen of Gainesville won his class, the junior men's equipped 125 kilo class. That's about 275 and change. He had a total of 642.5 kilograms or 1,416.46 pounds, despite having to take a token lift in the deadlift after tweaking his back early on. His squat of 755.08 pounds and his bench of 496.04, both national marks. Kevin Eubanks of Bogart rebounded from major knee surgery and a near-fatal staph infection last year to win the Masters men 40 to 44-year-old raw 181.88 pound weight class with records in all of his categories. Squat 385.7, bench 314.16, deadlift 501.55, and total of 1201.51. Tryon, Georgia's Danny Overbay also helped out the Dogs with his win in the equipped Masters men's 50 to 54-year-old 90-kilo class. That's about 198 pounds. A squat of 600.76, a bench of 330.69, a deadlift of 518.08, and a total of 1,449.52. Uwe Thorman of Palm Harbor, Florida, drove up to lift with the Dogs. He won the Masters men's 55 to 59-year-old 242s equipped bench-only class. Had a bench press of 385.81. He also won the raw push-pull, that's the bench deadlift combination, with a 330.69 pound bench and a 507.06 deadlift, totaled about 837.75 pounds. In bench only, Dana Tripp's husband Russ set an American record in the raw Masters men's 40 to 44-year-old 75 kilogram, that's the 165 and change pound weight class, with his winning lift of 297.62. Veteran lifter George Bradley of Gainesville won the equipped Masters men's 55 to 59-year-old 148.81 pound class with a bench of 225.97. I served as the team bench captain and took first in the equipped Masters men's 55 to 59-year-old 90-kilo class with a lift of 396.83. Hit my second lift, that's 180 kilograms, after weighing in Friday at a shade over 196. Tried to break my own national record, but missed number 3 at 407.85 pounds. Couldn't quite lock it. Well, yeah, ideally we'd like to set records of some sort at every meet, but for most of us that's just not feasible. Well, you hopefully learn from it and move on. It gives you something to shoot for with the Nationals coming up near Atlanta in June. By the way, the APC Nationals will be June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Clarion Hotel in Jonesboro, Georgia. We bring to the show now C.J. Allen, who was the team Full Power captain. And C.J., first of all, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, let's talk about your individual thing. Now,
all right.
you had a pretty good day before you tweaked your back a little bit.
A little bit of a mixed result, yeah.
So tell me about that.
I think I went too low in the first squat just to try to make sure I impressed the judges because I know they call it deep in the APC. Got there, got 3 whites for it, and the rest of the squat went great, but I think I just tweaked it a little bit on that and got worse as I bench pressed, and by the time I got to deadlift, it was starting to lock up on me.
I saw Stephanie, who was, by the way, we want to thank Stephanie for some of her photography over there at the meet as well, and working on you. She's a massage therapist, but couldn't quite get it worked out.
We couldn't quite get it to where we felt like it was loose enough, and I felt like I would be 50-50 on whether I could pull heavy or not, and that's a big risk to take if you're talking about an injury, you know.
Yeah. How you feeling now? Okay.
I feel great now. I'm glad that I decided to skip it because I'm feeling like I really needed a couple of days to just get back to normal before I go heavy again.
Well, we have to tell the people out there that if you're doing full power, you at least have to get a lift in all three categories for it to count. Now, and you wound up having some competition, and it's a good thing you did. I didn't do that little lift there because it put you over the top and you won the gold.
Right, and I was not expecting it. He was surprised up on the podium, and I was surprised. I didn't think I'd win on a token lift, but I got lucky and had a big squat, so that was good.
Now let's talk about the team. First of all, the honor we got from the Georgia Senate, and that was really something. Then to be able to go out and defend our team titles and bench in full power. That's a great way to start our season.
Absolutely. It was a good season opener for sure, for everybody. Everybody had a good day across the board. We took basically straight first place trophies all the way through in all the classes that we had. We had a lot of guys pulling personal records in all three lifts, and we just did what we came to do, and that's the way we like it.
Well, and another thing I noticed, we got some new blood in here. Now, aren't you glad to see the teenagers and the 20-somethings? Now, you're a young man, too, but it's good to have all us old 40s and 50s and 60-somethings that are doing this thing now.
Yeah, there's so many divisions and classes. We need really a lot of people from everything. We need to have a big, deep field, teenagers included. We got to get them started so by the time they're my age, they can be, ready to compete with the best.
What's the best thing about powerlifting for you, C.J.? What do you like the most? I mean, it's fun to win and all this kind of stuff, but I kind of like the working out and the camaraderie that you get out of this.
Absolutely, and I like the way it gives me a little bit of control over my body and how I'm performing and how I'm moving and how I'm feeling. It's just good to be able to work on it and see the results right there.
And when you go to these meets and you see all of these people, whether they're male, female, black, white, it gives you a good feeling that you've got friends, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And people that you have a lot in common with.
And people that you may only see once a year, they'll know who you are and what your name is, and you can see them at nationals or state or wherever and just pick up right where you left off.
And cheering for one another and encourage each other.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling pretty good about the nationals, as far as our team is concerned anyway, aren't you, C.J.?
Yeah, it's going to be a deep field. We're going to have probably a full list of our 6 competitors, a big long list of alternates, so no matter what happens, we'll be able to just pull somebody in there and really get going on it.
All right. C.J. Allen, thanks for coming in. One of my brothers in the iron
Thank
here
you.
at Georgia IronDawgs. A great start to the season. All right, we're back to name our athletes, teams, and coaches of the winter and wrap it up when Hall County Sports concludes. Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals. And remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood. With 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups, McKelvey Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. We're back. I'm Garry Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. And since former Georgia Bulldog Bubba Watson just won the Masters, we'll start this week's wrap-up with high school golf. Gainesville's boys dominated the field at the North Georgia High School Classic at the Achasta course in Dahlonega last week, beating second-place Alpharetta by 21 shots. Jackson Bishop led the Elephant Linksters with the tie for second individually at 142. That's just 1 shot behind the champion, Havisham Central's ace Lee McCoy, who won his 5th individual championship this season. Gainesville had 5 players shoot 75 or better on the second day and winning their 3rd team title of 2012. Also finishing in the top 10 for the varsity were Lawson King in 8th, Grant Laster in 9th, and Pep Brown in 10th. 8th grader Spencer Ralston tied for 6th individually. Spencer, by the way, also recently was 2nd in his age group at the Hurricane Junior Golf Tours event at Chateau Alon. Time now to name our athlete of the week. It's Lincoln Hewitt, who's on the North Hall baseball team, but set American records in winning the state powerlifting championship in Athens. Honorable mention, by the way, to David Gonzalez of Gainesville High baseball as well for this particular week. And congratulations to Riverbend Hornets, the 9 and under basketball team. They were winners of the Hall County tournament recently. All right, time now to give out some of our awards for the athletes, teams, and coaches of this past winter season 2011-2012. Honorable mentions and finalists up first from basketball. Honorable mention, our athlete Josh J.C. Hampton of East Hall boys basketball. Averaged almost 28 points a game, as well as adding almost 4 steals and 3.5 assists per game. Was the Region 8 AA Player of the Year, MVP of the Alaska Airlines Classic Tournament, and the Times Male Player of the Year. He led East Hall to the second round of the state tournament. Honorable mention also to the Viking boys basketball team who won that Alaska tournament and was the Lanier Land runner-up and made the second round of the playoffs, and honorable mention as well to their coach, Joe Dix. Honorable mention on the girls basketball side to East Hall's Morgan Jackson, who averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists per game in leading the Lady Vikings to the Lanier Land title, where she was MVP, to the region championship, and to the second round of the playoffs, where they lost to the eventual state champions Lovett by a single point. Honorable mention also to the Lady Vikings team and to Coach Joey Ryder, and to North Hall's McKenna Rushton, 13 points and 6 rebounds a game for the Lady Trojans Final Four team. Honorable mention also to Ethan Ebo Smith of North Hall boys basketball. He averaged 19 points and 6 rebounds a game for the 8 AAA region runners-up. And we'll give out an honorable mention to the Trojan boys team for making the Sweet 16 and to their coach, Benji Wood. All right, from wrestling, honorable mention to Chastity's Dylan Brock, 48-11 over the season, won some tournaments, including Hall County, where he was most outstanding wrestler for the heavyweight classes at 195, and he went on to state where he finished 5th. North Hall's Tyler Kratzer, 61-4 overall, including tournament wins as well. He was Hall County most outstanding wrestler in the middleweight classes and the area champion. He was 3rd at sectionals and 5th at state at 138. Honorable mention to Riverside's Christopher Harvey Jr. on the wrestling side. He was 38-6. He was area champion and 3rd at sectionals and 3rd at state at 120 pounds. And honorable mention to his teammate, 138-pounder Nicholas Thompson of RMA, Hall County's only sectional champion. Honorable mention to the Flower Branch wrestling team, Hall County champions, and to North Hall for qualifying for the state duels. Both had fine seasons. And honorable mention to coaches Shane Millwood of the Branch and Jay Hargis of North Hall as well. All right, time now to name our winners. Our girls athlete of the winter, Jasmine Jenkins of East Hall girls basketball, averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, over 3 assists, and a steal and a half for the Lanier Land and region champions, who only lost by 1 in the state playoffs to the team that won it all. She played through a bad ankle sprain to do all that. She was the Times Girls Player of the Year, and she is our female athlete of this past winter season. She's headed to Vanderbilt to continue her basketball career. Our boys athlete of the winter comes from Flowery Branch Wrestling, Nick Langford, who began the season with a tournament title and most outstanding wrestler at the prestigious Panther Invitational, and he ended it with a state championship at 132 pounds. In between, he picked up a lot more accolades, including a championship and most outstanding wrestler at Hall County for the lighter classes. He battled through illness at the end of the season to finish as area and sectional runner-up before putting it all together and winning that state title. He was 64-4, now heads to Newberry College to wrestle some more. Our Hall County Sports TV boys team of the winter, also from wrestling, the Chestatee squad, who won 32 matches, qualified for the state duels, and wound up 7th overall in the state. And Coach Kerry Whitlow of Chestatee Wrestling as our boys team coach of the winter. He was also the Times Wrestling Coach of the Year, by the way. Now, the girls team of the winter and their coach are our winners for our top honors on the female side. North Hall girls basketball, Lanier Land runners-up, region champions, and state Final Four participants. They get our team award for the winner. And Coach Christy House takes home the Wintertime Award for girls team coach. What a great run Coach House and the Lady Trojans had, and congratulations to all of our winners and our honorees. And finally, congratulations to former wrestling coach Doug Thurman, who's now at Jefferson. Now, Doug is in this week's issue of Sports Illustrated. This is the one with the national champion Kentucky cover and has the April 9th dateline on it. He is in this week's issue of SI as one of the faces in the crowd. Now let me read to you what SI wrote. Thurman, a 50-year-old teacher at Jefferson High, coached the Dragons to a state record 12th consecutive team title with a 232-88 win over Greater Atlanta Christian, including individual crowns in the 126 and 182-pound weight classes. The team state title streak, begun in Thurman's first year as head coach, is the longest for any program in any sport in Georgia history. A 2009 inductee into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Thurman is 440-66 in 25 years of coaching. Congratulations to Doug, not only a face in the crowd, but a face in our hearts as well. They didn't even mention all those state duels that he's won while a coach at the Dragons. Pretty good stuff. That's our show for this week. I'm Garry Glenn, Hall County Sports.